we're going to start with questions right away and go to Danilo. Go ahead.
Hey, Liam, how are you? Danilo from Brazil.
My name's Liam.
Hey, Liam, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Danilo from Brazil. I'm good, man. Well, you are one of the top prospects in this draft. Notre Dame's O-line has always been bringing good players to the NFL. What is the secret to this? How is the work done so that O-line is always good quality? I know it's not the Notre Dame's water, you know.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely sorry, I was yelling there. I would say it's the culture in the offensive line room that's been instilled by, the former players and coaches that have come throughout here. We've had a lot of great guys come through here, such as Zach Martin, Quentin Nelson, Ronnie Stanley, Mike McGlinchey, all those guys who And I think it's kind of that standard that, they've held themselves to and then we continue to do. So it definitely has to do with culture. I believe that without good culture, you can't win.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we're going to go to Tyler James.
Hey, Liam, what's sort of the biggest selling point you would try to convince teams on when it relates to your ability and why they should draft you?
Yeah, the biggest selling point for me is I think I'm consistent. I think I'm a guy you can plug in and play right now. I'm not a guy that needs a lot of development. I think I've been coached well. I use my technique and my fundamentals very well. So for me, it's a lot of people knock me for athleticism. I mean, I really don't. I mean, offensive line. I mean, I'm not running a route or anything, so I guess it's a little bit different. But I think I'm a guy that can go in there, get to the NFL, and play right away.
Up next, we'll have Mark Skoll.
Hey, Liam, I'm just curious, what's the pre-draft process been like for you, and how excited are you for the draft, and what teams have you talked to?
Yeah, so the process has been great. I've had a lot of Zoom interviews, as you guys know. Each team gets 5 interviews, an hour long with us. So it's been going well. I couldn't tell you. It's a good amount of teams that I've talked to. I've had a good amount of meetings. But yeah, it's going well. They want to get to know us, get to know me, and then also they do a lot of install. So it's a great opportunity for me to understand their offense, their schemes, their pass pros, stuff like that. But I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity. It's not about getting drafted; it's about having a long career. So I just hope I go to a team that needs me and I can help them win.
All right, up next, we'll go to Maddie Glab.
Hi, Liam. I'm Maddie Glab with the Buffalo Bills. Have you been able to meet with the Buffalo Bills over Zoom yet?
Yes, I met with the offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson. It was a great opportunity. I thought he was a great coach. He explained everything very well. The Bills have a very good scheme. Their pass pro is great, very, very effective, and communication is very good. So, yeah, it was great. I love the coach. I would love to go to the Bills, but at the end of the day, it's not up to the offensive line coach. It's up to the whole staff.
Up next, we'll have Patrick Engel.
Liam, having been around Jarrett for a couple of years, now that he's kind of the leader in that room and then potentially kicking out to tackle, how do you think and how well equipped he is to be able to handle all those duties and make any potential position change?
I think it'll be easy for Jarrett. Football comes natural to him. The first camp as a freshman, he was a left tackle behind me, and he was amazing. So I think it'll be like nothing ever happened. I don't expect there to be a drop off at all. It'll be like I'm still there. It'll be like Mike was still there, and I think Jarrett will be one of the next greats. He's a great center, and I think him moving out to tackle it'll make people realize that he's even he's a better player than most people think.
Up next, we'll have Pete Sampson with a question.
Liam, there's another question about somebody who's still here. I mean, you've seen more of Tosh Baker in practice, than we've seen. But what is his skill set like? What do you think the most important thing is for him to get done in his first spring practice here?
Yeah, I think for Tosh, it's, he has a great mindset. He works hard. I think for him, it's just about getting strong in the off season. He put in a lot of work this winter, so I'm excited to see how he looks. I was at one practice. I was standing up on the top deck. I really couldn't see very well, but I think he's done well so far. And I think it's just strength for him. I think he moves well. He's good with his hands. He understands the playbook. It's just going to be, developing his overall strength. And, when he gets that, I think he'll be a great player for Notre Dame football.
Next question will come from Josh from the Bucks Report.
Hey, Liam, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Just want to ask you, who have you kind of leaned on through this whole process? Has there been any, veteran players in the NFL or past teammates, coaches that have kind of guided you through this, pro day and pre-draft process? And then just to follow up as well, have you had any communications with the Buccaneers yet?
Yeah, so for me, talking to guys like Sam Mustipher, Alex Barros, Quentin Nelson, those are guys that I lean on. They've been in my shoes. They're in the league now. Q was a first-round pick, and then, Sam and Alex, they were free agents. So it's kind of, you get the response from, both sides of the spectrum. But, they've helped me a lot. I mean, they'll do anything for me, and I'll do anything for them, and that's just kind of how we are as a unit here. But yeah, I had a meeting with the Bucks. It was just an area scout, so nothing crazy.
Next question will come from Frank Carr.
Hey, Liam, good afternoon. Pleasure to speak with you.
Good to talk to you.
I was wondering if you could describe how much technique can overcome those athleticism concerns that people knock you for, and if you examples or something like that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for example, when we play Pitt, they had both their defensive ends are very good defensive ends. One's more athletic than the other, and there's definitely concern by people, when I go up against a speed guy. But I honestly think it's easier to go against a speed guy. They're more decisive with their moves and their decision making. So I don't know. The athleticism. I think if you turn on my tape, I mean, I blocked everyone I played against pretty well. So for me, it's just kind of. I think people who say that really don't understand football very well and definitely did not watch my tape. I think my tape speaks for itself, based on my athleticism and my ability to play at the next level. I've gone up against some of the best pass rushers that come out in the past years, Glenn Farrell from Clemson, Rashawn Gary, Chase Winovich, Brian Burns. And then this past year, I think, for me, it's just my tape speaks for itself.
All right, we're going to go back to Tyler James with a question.
Liam, what you didn't end up playing in the Senior Bowl. Can you explain why that was, and what have you tried to do to maybe make up for that lost opportunity?
Yeah, so I talked to my family, I talked to my agent, and we decided it wasn't best for me to play. One, because we had concerns about COVID. I haven't had COVID yet. I was out in Arizona. We really didn't understand the protocol yet. And then also, it was a long season. I had a good season, and, my body was a little beat up. So for me, it was just kind of focusing on improving my numbers for pro day, and then also, focusing on football, a technique standpoint, and, not making my body worse. So, it was a great opportunity to be invited. Sadly, the decision was for me not to go. But, I appreciate everybody at the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy, and everyone for, extending that opportunity to me.
Up next, we'll go to Alex Kozora.
Hey, Liam, thanks for talking with us. One thing I noticed on your tape is you have really good eyes in picking up stunts and blitzes. Can you just kind of walk us through some of the things you look pre and post snap that can kind of, clue you and tip you off that the defense is running some sort of game or blitz?
Yeah, I think it all starts with your film study, to be honest with you. I don't think you'll be able to see that if you don't watch film. For me, I get up to the line, I look at the line of scrimmage, who's down, based on their technique, which hand, what foot's back. And then for me, I've been playing for, this was my 5th year playing, and you kind of pick up on things as you become older, as you play more. So, definitely, the amount of weight on their hand, where their body weight's leaning, and then also based on, for example, if it's a defensive end and then a 3-tech, you can kind of tell based on the levels they're on. And then for me, it's all about, snapping the defensive end across my face so the guard doesn't get blown up. And it's very important that my guard does not get drilled in the side. I mean, it's a kill shot for him, and you don't want that to happen, because at the end of the day, it takes 5 of us to block and for us to be successful on the offensive line. So, I think it's all about repetition and practice, and without all the reps that Coach Quinn put us through, I don't think we would be able to excel.
Next question is going to come from Nick Farabaugh.
Hey Liam, have you met at all with the Steelers? And if so, I mean, what do you kind of think of their scheme and overall the experience with them?
Yeah, I met with them once. I believe they're going to be up here for Pro Day. I haven't talked for them very long. I think it was like a 20-minute meeting. It'd be a great opportunity to play for the Steelers. I mean, I'll say that for every team, though. I'm just very excited to play in the NFL. For any team that takes a chance on me, gives me the opportunity. I'm going to give them everything I can. The Steelers, I think they had a veteran left tackle. I think they didn't sign him again. And I think they're missing some other guys on the offensive line. So, the Steelers, they're a great team, great organization, and it'd be a great opportunity to go in there and play for them.
Next question is going to come from Dan Wilkenstein.
Hey Liam, Dan Wilkenstein from the Brawl Network. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Is the family safe? Everything from COVID?
Yep, they're doing well.
Good. Hey, two-part question. One, the Chargers are, many people believe Chargers are in need of a left tackle plug-and-play starter. Talk about maybe what you have learned most or what you've improved upon the most this year. And then in terms of the Chargers, have you talked to them? Where you see yourself fitting in with them, potentially guarding rookie or past rookie Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I talked to, like I've said before, I've talked to the majority of the teams. I did talk to the Chargers. Haven't talked much to them, though. This past year, I think one of the things I did best was I was very efficient with my footwork. I think I gained ground well. I thought I got my hands inside. And, at the next level, I think it's very important that you're gaining ground with your steps. If you false step, I think you're going to be behind the block. So for me, it's, I play hard. I sprint off the ball. This year it kind of speaks to that. Just kind of, me coming back to improve and coming back for a fifth year.
Next question is going to come from Patrick Engel.
Hey, Liam, another question about a guy who's still here. In 4 years of spending time around Josh Love, what did he kind of give you guys as kind of a plug and play anywhere, and how you see him kind of taking an opportunity here for a starting job?
Yeah, Josh, he was our utility man. He stepped in and he could play any position. You could put him at tackle, guard, or center, and he would do well. He's a guy that, we've had, we have 4 guys coming out this year. So, I mean, he's been behind them and me at times, and it's just kind of allowed him to, develop even more so that, this is his opportunity now. He will start on the offensive line this year. There's no doubt about that. And I think he's going to do very well. I think he'll be very successful. He's a guy who understands his technique and fundamentals, and I'm very excited for him. I'm excited for all the guys in our room, but, a guy who stuck it out, who would do anything and sacrifice anything for the offensive line, that's the type of guy you're getting.
All right, and this last question is going to come from Timothy O'Malley. Go ahead.
Liam, I just wanted to circle back to your decision to take a fifth year and how that helped you, not just the team's success, but did you have specific things you knew you needed to improve on to be a better pro prospect at the end of your fifth year than when you started it?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest things for me coming back this past year was, run blocking. I don't think I was as effective as I could have been 2 years ago. So this year we kind of focused more on running the ball, and it wasn't me. It was us as an offensive line. We wanted to be efficient on third down, third and short, and running the ball as a whole. So for me, coming back, it was a great opportunity. I was very fortunate, and at the same time, to come back, have Aaron Banks next to me again, just continuing to work on that chemistry and that footwork and us fitting in on blocks. That was one thing, and then also pass pro. I think pass protection is very important in the NFL. You need a guy who can vertical set, who can block on third and long. So for me coming back, it was just that opportunity to improve on everything I needed to work on.
All right, and that is all the time we have for. So thanks, Liam, for joining us.
Yep.